In the winter of 1895, flames consumed everything that mattered to Nikola Tesla. His laboratory on Grand Street in New York burned to the ground, taking with it decades of research, prototypes, and most importantly, his private notebooks containing theories that would challenge the very foundation of how we understand consciousness itself. Please take a moment to tell us where you're watching from in the comments below. And if you're finding this story as fascinating as we are, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more untold stories of history's greatest minds. But here's what the history books don't tell you. One notebook survived, hidden away in a trunk that Tesla had given to his closest friend, Thomas Comerford Martin, months before the fire. This notebook contained Tesla's most profound insights into what he called the electrical nature of the soul, and his revolutionary theories about consciousness existing as a frequency that could be measured, manipulated, and even transmitted wirelessly. The story begins in 1893, 2 years before the devastating fire. Tesla had just achieved worldwide fame with his alternating current system powering the world's Columbian Exposition in Chicago. But while the world celebrated his electrical innovations, Tesla was diving deep into questions that seemed to have no place in the scientific world of the 1890s. He had begun what he called his consciousness experiments, trying to understand the electrical patterns of human thought and emotion. Tesla's journey into the realm of the soul started with a simple observation. During his high-frequency electrical experiments, he noticed that certain frequencies seemed to affect his mental state. When he exposed himself to particular electromagnetic fields, he reported feeling more alert, more creative, and sometimes even experiencing what he described as expanded awareness. This led him to a startling hypothesis. What if consciousness itself operated on electrical principles? In his private notebook, Tesla wrote, "The human brain is nothing more than a highly sophisticated electrical receiver and transmitter. Every thought, every emotion, every dream generates a specific electrical pattern. If we can decode these patterns, we can understand the very essence of what makes us human." But Tesla's theories went far beyond the brain. He believed that what we call the soul was actually a form of electrical energy that could exist independently of the physical body. This energy, he theorized, operated at frequencies so high that conventional instruments of his time couldn't detect them. He called this phenomenon ethereal electricity, and spent countless hours trying to build devices that could measure what he termed the soul's frequency. The breakthrough came in 1894 when Tesla created what he called the consciousness resonator. This device, no larger than a shoebox, was designed to detect and amplify the electrical patterns of human thought. According to his notebook, the first successful test occurred on a cold February evening when Tesla placed the device near his assistant, who was in a deep state of meditation. The results were extraordinary. Tesla's instruments detected a distinct electrical pattern emanating from his assistant's head, a pattern that seemed to pulse in rhythm with what Tesla described as the fundamental frequency of awareness. Even more remarkable was Tesla's claim that when he tuned his device to match this frequency, he began to experience the same meditative state as his assistant, as if consciousness itself could be transmitted from one person to another. Tesla's notebook reveals that he conducted dozens of these experiments over the following months. He mapped what he called the emotional spectrum, documenting how different feelings produced different electrical signatures. Love, he noted, generated a steady, harmonious frequency. Fear produced jagged, chaotic patterns. Joy created bright, rapid oscillations. But perhaps most intriguing were Tesla's experiments with what he termed consciousness projection. He believed that, under the right conditions, a person's awareness could be transmitted to distant locations, much like his wireless electrical transmissions. In one entry, dated March 15, 1894, Tesla wrote, "Today I successfully projected my consciousness to the laboratory of my colleague in Philadelphia. I observed him working on his experiments and later confirmed the accuracy of my observations through telegram. The implications are staggering. Tesla's spiritual investigations weren't conducted in isolation. His work caught the attention of Swami Vivekananda, one of India's most respected spiritual teachers, who had come to America to share the ancient wisdom of Vedanta philosophy. The meeting between Tesla and Vivekananda in 1895 would prove to be one of the most significant encounters in the history of both science and spirituality. Vivekananda was fascinated by Tesla's theories because they seemed to provide scientific validation for concepts that had been central to Eastern philosophy for thousands of years. The Swami explained to Tesla that ancient Sanskrit texts described consciousness as a form of energy that could exist in different states and even travel beyond the physical body. This energy was called prana, and it was considered the life force that animated all living beings. Tesla was electrified by these ideas. Here was a philosophical framework that aligned perfectly with his scientific observations. He began studying Sanskrit and diving deep into Vedantic texts, looking for connections between ancient wisdom and modern science. In his notebook, he wrote, "The Hindus have understood for millennia what Western science is only beginning to discover. Consciousness is not produced by the brain but is a fundamental force of the universe, like electricity or magnetism." This collaboration between Tesla and Vivekananda led to what Tesla called his unified theory of consciousness. He proposed that just as electromagnetic waves could carry information across vast distances, consciousness waves could transmit thoughts, emotions, and even experiences between individuals. He envisioned a future where human beings could communicate telepathically using technology that amplified these natural consciousness frequencies. Tesla's notebook contains detailed plans for what he called the Global Consciousness Network, a system of receivers and transmitters that would allow people to share thoughts and experiences instantaneously across the planet. He believed this technology could eliminate misunderstanding between cultures and create a truly connected human civilization. But Tesla's most controversial theory concerned what happened to consciousness after death. Based on his experiments and his study of Vedantic philosophy, he concluded that consciousness, being a form of energy, could not be destroyed. Instead, it would transition to what he called the ethereal plane, a realm of pure energy where individual consciousness could continue to exist and even communicate with the living. Tesla claimed that his consciousness resonator could detect these post-death communications. In several notebook entries, he described receiving messages from deceased scientists and inventors, including detailed technical information that he couldn't have known otherwise. While skeptics would dismiss these claims as fantasy, Tesla's notebook contains precise technical drawings and calculations that he attributed to these ethereal communications. The implications of Tesla's work were staggering. If consciousness could be measured, transmitted, and even stored, it would revolutionize not just science but philosophy, religion, and our understanding of what it means to be human. Tesla envisioned a future where human consciousness could be uploaded to machines, where the dead could communicate with the living, and where the boundaries between individual minds could dissolve entirely. But Tesla's spiritual research faced significant opposition. The scientific establishment of the 1890s was deeply materialistic, viewing consciousness as nothing more than a byproduct of brain chemistry. Religious leaders were equally skeptical, seeing Tesla's theories as a threat to traditional concepts of the soul and afterlife. Even his closest colleagues began to distance themselves from what they considered his increasingly eccentric ideas. The pressure mounted throughout 1895. Tesla's investors grew nervous about his spiritual investigations, fearing they would damage his reputation and, more importantly, their profits. Several prominent scientists publicly criticized Tesla's work, accusing him of abandoning rigorous scientific method in favor of mystical speculation. It was during this period of intense scrutiny that Tesla made the fateful decision to hide his most sensitive research. He entrusted his consciousness notebook to Thomas Comerford Martin, editor of Electrical World magazine and one of his most trusted friends. Tesla told Martin that the notebook contained discoveries that could change the world, but which the world is not yet ready to accept. Just months later, on March 13, 1895, Tesla's laboratory burned down under mysterious circumstances. The official investigation concluded that the fire was caused by faulty wiring, but Tesla privately suspected sabotage. He had received several threatening letters warning him to abandon his spiritual research or face the consequences. The fire destroyed everything: decades of research, irreplaceable prototypes, and most tragically, Tesla's complete collection of consciousness experiments. Only the notebook hidden with Martin survived. Tesla was devastated, not just by the loss of his equipment, but by the destruction of what he considered his most important work. In the aftermath of the fire, Tesla made a difficult decision. He would continue his electrical and mechanical inventions, but he would never again publicly discuss his consciousness research. The world, he concluded, was not ready for such revolutionary ideas. He spent the remaining decades of his life focusing on wireless power transmission, robotics, and other more conventional technologies. But Tesla never abandoned his spiritual investigations entirely. According to several biographers, he continued his consciousness experiments in secret, using makeshift equipment in his various laboratories. He reportedly maintained contact with several Eastern philosophers and mystics, continuing to explore the connections between ancient wisdom and modern science. The notebook hidden with Martin remained untouched for decades. After Martin's death in 1924, it passed to his son, who had no interest in Tesla's spiritual theories. The notebook sat in a storage trunk, forgotten and ignored, while the world moved on without knowing about Tesla's most profound discoveries. It wasn't until 1952 that the notebook was rediscovered by a graduate student researching Tesla's unpublished works. The student, working on his dissertation about Tesla's lesser-known inventions, came across the trunk in the basement of Martin's former home. When he opened the notebook and began reading Tesla's consciousness theories, he immediately recognized their significance. The notebook revealed that Tesla had been far ahead of his time in understanding the relationship between mind and matter. His theories about consciousness as a form of energy that could be measured and transmitted were decades ahead of similar ideas that would later emerge in quantum physics and neuroscience. Modern scientists who have studied Tesla's notebook have been amazed by its prescience. Tesla's description of the brain as an electrical receiver and transmitter anticipated discoveries in neuroscience that wouldn't be made until the 1970s. His theories about consciousness frequencies paralleled concepts that wouldn't emerge in psychology until the development of EEG technology. Even more remarkably, Tesla's ideas about consciousness existing independently of the brain have found support in recent research into near-death experiences and quantum theories of consciousness. Scientists like Stuart Hameroff and Roger Penrose have proposed that consciousness may indeed be a fundamental property of the universe, much as Tesla suggested over a century ago. Tesla's vision of a global consciousness network seems less fantastical today, in an age of internet communication and social media. His idea that human beings could share thoughts and experiences instantaneously across the planet has essentially been realized through digital technology, though not in quite the way he envisioned. Perhaps most intriguingly, Tesla's theories about post-death consciousness have gained new relevance in light of research into quantum entanglement and non-local consciousness. Some scientists now theorize that if consciousness is indeed a form of energy, it might continue to exist after the death of the physical body, potentially capable of communication across dimensional boundaries. The notebook also contains Tesla's detailed instructions for building modern versions of his consciousness detection equipment. Using today's advanced electronics and computing power, it might be possible to create devices that could actually measure and manipulate consciousness frequencies as Tesla envisioned. Several research groups around the world are now working to recreate Tesla's consciousness experiments using modern technology. Early results suggest that Tesla may have been onto something profound. Researchers have detected distinct electrical patterns associated with different mental states, and some have even reported success in transmitting simple thoughts between individuals using electromagnetic fields. Tesla's spiritual legacy extends far beyond his specific theories about consciousness. His willingness to explore the intersection of science and spirituality, his openness to ancient wisdom traditions, and his vision of a connected human civilization continue to inspire researchers and thinkers today. The story of Tesla's burned notes serves as a powerful reminder of how revolutionary ideas can be suppressed by fear and ignorance. Tesla's consciousness research was ahead of its time, threatening established scientific and religious orthodoxies. The destruction of his laboratory may have set back human understanding of consciousness by decades, but the survival of that single notebook proves that truth has a way of persisting, even in the face of deliberate suppression. Tesla's insights into the nature of consciousness and the soul continue to influence researchers and philosophers today, gradually gaining acceptance as science catches up with his visionary ideas. Tesla once said, "The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in one decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence. That day may finally be arriving, as more scientists recognize that consciousness cannot be fully understood through purely materialistic approaches. The implications of Tesla's work extend far beyond academic research. If consciousness is indeed a form of energy that can be measured, transmitted, and even stored, it could revolutionize medicine, psychology, and our understanding of death itself. Tesla's vision of humans communicating telepathically and consciousness surviving bodily death might not be fantasy but scientific reality waiting to be discovered. Modern technology has made it possible to test Tesla's theories in ways he could never have imagined. Advanced brain imaging techniques, quantum computers, and sophisticated electromagnetic equipment could potentially validate or refute his claims about consciousness frequencies and ethereal communication. Some researchers are already exploring practical applications of Tesla's ideas. There are ongoing experiments in brain-computer interfaces that allow paralyzed patients to control devices through thought alone. While these systems currently rely on detecting electrical activity in the brain, Tesla's theories suggest that consciousness itself might be harnessed more directly. The military and intelligence communities have also shown interest in Tesla's consciousness research. Declassified documents reveal that several government agencies have investigated the possibility of using electromagnetic fields to influence human behavior and even facilitate telepathic communication. While the results of these programs remain classified, they suggest that Tesla's ideas are taken seriously at the highest levels. Tesla's notebook also contains his thoughts on the ethical implications of consciousness technology. He warned that the ability to read and manipulate thoughts could be used for both tremendous good and terrible evil. He advocated for strict ethical guidelines and international cooperation to ensure that consciousness technology would be used to benefit humanity rather than control it. This prescient warning is particularly relevant today as we grapple with the implications of artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and brain-computer interfaces. Tesla's vision of a connected human consciousness could become reality within decades, making his ethical concerns more urgent than ever. The notebook reveals that Tesla saw consciousness research as his ultimate contribution to humanity. While his electrical inventions transformed civilization, he believed that understanding consciousness would transform human nature itself. He envisioned a future where the artificial barriers between individuals would dissolve, where empathy and understanding would replace conflict and hatred. Tesla's spiritual research was deeply personal as well as scientific. He reported having profound mystical experiences during his experiments, moments of expanded awareness that gave him insights into the nature of reality itself. These experiences convinced him that consciousness was not limited to individual brains but was part of a universal field of awareness that connected all living beings. This concept of universal consciousness, which Tesla called the cosmic mind, aligned closely with both Eastern philosophy and emerging ideas in quantum physics. Tesla believed that individual consciousness was like a wave in the ocean of cosmic awareness, capable of accessing information and experiences beyond the limitations of the physical body. The notebook contains Tesla's detailed account of what he called his cosmic consciousness experience, a profound altered state that occurred during one of his experiments in 1894. Tesla described feeling his individual identity dissolve into a vast, interconnected field of awareness. In this state, he claimed to have access to knowledge and insights that seemed to come from beyond his own mind. This experience convinced Tesla that consciousness was not produced by the brain but was a fundamental property of the universe itself. He compared it to electricity, which exists throughout nature but can be harnessed and directed through appropriate technology. Similarly, he believed that consciousness could be accessed and amplified through proper techniques and equipment. Tesla's theories about consciousness were influenced not only by his scientific observations but also by his study of ancient wisdom traditions. He found remarkable parallels between his experimental results and descriptions of consciousness in Hindu, Buddhist, and other mystical texts. This convinced him that ancient sages had understood consciousness in ways that modern science was only beginning to rediscover. The notebook contains Tesla's translations and interpretations of various Sanskrit texts, showing how he connected concepts like prana, akasha, and samadhi to his own theories about consciousness frequency and ethereal communication. Tesla believed that these ancient teachings contained scientific truths that had been lost or ignored by Western civilization. Tesla's vision extended beyond individual consciousness to include what he called planetary consciousness. He theorized that just as individuals had personal consciousness frequencies, the Earth itself might have a collective consciousness formed by the combined awareness of all living beings. This planetary consciousness, he believed, could be accessed and influenced through appropriate technology. This idea anticipated modern concepts like the Gaia hypothesis and collective unconscious by decades. Tesla envisioned a future where humans could tap into planetary consciousness to solve global problems, heal environmental damage, and evolve as a species. He saw his consciousness research as laying the groundwork for this ultimate transformation of human civilization. The notebook also reveals Tesla's thoughts on the relationship between consciousness and creativity. He believed that his most important inventions came not from logical reasoning but from accessing what he called the cosmic mind. Tesla described entering meditative states where solutions to complex problems would appear spontaneously, as if downloaded from a universal database of knowledge. This process, which Tesla called intuitive invention, involved quieting the analytical mind and opening to insights from deeper levels of consciousness. Tesla believed that this ability could be developed through proper training and enhanced through technological means. He envisioned schools where students would learn to access cosmic consciousness as routinely as they learned mathematics or science. Tesla's consciousness research was ultimately driven by his deep compassion for humanity. He believed that understanding consciousness was the key to ending suffering, conflict, and ignorance. If humans could experience their fundamental interconnectedness at the level of consciousness, Tesla reasoned, they would naturally develop greater empathy and cooperation. The notebook contains Tesla's detailed plans for what he called consciousness healing, using electromagnetic fields to restore balance to disturbed mental and emotional states. Tesla believed that many psychological and physical ailments were caused by disruptions in consciousness frequency, and that these could be corrected through appropriate electromagnetic therapy. This idea was far ahead of its time but has found support in modern research into bioelectric medicine and frequency healing. Some contemporary therapists use electromagnetic fields to treat depression, anxiety, and other mental health conditions, validating Tesla's intuition about the therapeutic potential of consciousness technology. Tesla's vision of consciousness technology was not limited to healing but extended to human enhancement and evolution. He believed that electromagnetic fields could be used to expand human consciousness, increase intelligence, and even activate dormant psychic abilities. Tesla saw this as the next stage in human evolution, where technological and spiritual development would merge. The notebook describes Tesla's experiments with what he called consciousness amplification, using electromagnetic fields to enhance various mental abilities. Tesla reported success in improving memory, increasing creativity, and even facilitating telepathic communication. While these claims would be dismissed by many scientists today, recent research into transcranial stimulation and neurofeedback suggests that Tesla may have been onto something significant. Tesla's ultimate vision was of a world where consciousness technology would make war, poverty, and suffering obsolete. He believed that when humans could experience their fundamental unity at the level of consciousness, they would naturally work together to solve global problems and create a more harmonious civilization. This vision seems more relevant than ever in our current era of global challenges and technological transformation. As we face climate change, social inequality, and the risks of artificial intelligence, Tesla's ideas about consciousness technology and human connection offer a hopeful alternative to purely technological solutions. The rediscovery of Tesla's consciousness notebook represents more than just a historical curiosity. It provides a roadmap for exploring the nature of consciousness and its relationship to physical reality. Tesla's theories, once dismissed as mystical speculation, are finding support in cutting-edge research in neuroscience, quantum physics, and consciousness studies. Several universities and research institutions are now investigating Tesla's consciousness theories using modern scientific methods. While much work remains to be done, early results suggest that Tesla's insights into the electrical nature of consciousness may have been remarkably accurate. The notebook serves as a bridge between ancient wisdom and modern science, showing how spiritual insights and scientific investigation can complement each other rather than conflict. Tesla's example demonstrates that the greatest discoveries often come from those willing to explore beyond the boundaries of conventional thinking. As we stand on the threshold of a new era in consciousness research, Tesla's notebook provides both inspiration and guidance. His vision of a connected, conscious humanity offers hope for a future where technology serves not just material needs but spiritual growth as well. Tesla's consciousness research reminds us that science at its best is not just about understanding the physical world, but about exploring the deepest mysteries of existence. His willingness to investigate consciousness, despite professional and personal risks, exemplifies the courage required to push the boundaries of human knowledge. The story of Tesla's burned notes and the survival of his consciousness notebook demonstrates that truth has a way of persisting, even when powerful forces try to suppress it. Tesla's insights into the nature of consciousness and the soul continue to influence researchers and thinkers today, gradually gaining acceptance as science catches up with his visionary ideas. Perhaps most importantly, Tesla's work reminds us that consciousness is not just an abstract philosophical concept, but a practical reality that can be studied, understood, and potentially enhanced. His vision of consciousness technology offers both tremendous opportunities and serious responsibilities as we move forward into an uncertain future. The legacy of Tesla's consciousness research extends far beyond his specific theories and experiments. It represents a fundamentally different way of approaching the relationship between mind and matter, science and spirituality, individual and collective consciousness. As we face the challenges of the 21st century, Tesla's vision of a connected, conscious humanity offers both inspiration and practical guidance for creating a better world. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of history's most fascinating untold stories. If you found Tesla's consciousness research as intriguing as we do, please share this video with others who might appreciate this incredible tale of scientific discovery and spiritual insight. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our future explorations into the hidden corners of history and science. Your support helps us continue bringing these remarkable stories to light.